Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session designed to enable a client that was previously in a relationship with an abusive narcissist. And I know that term narcissist gets used sometimes inappropriately. Sometimes it's just an easy way to kind of describe someone that you don't like. But working with this particular client, it was definitely evident that those narcissistic traits were in there, and it really was an abusive relationship. And if you are the result and have received gaslighting and coercive behavior and threats and all of the things that are sometimes forms of manipulation, it can lead to an element of hesitancy. It can lead to an element of hesitancy because you're not sure what unpredictable behavior is going to happen next. There's a feeling that if you do certain things, there might be a consequence. And all of these things can lead to second guessing and doubt, which isn't really great if you're trying to get on with your life. It also can impede new relationships, and this particular client had witnessed that through their parents. When their parents split up, her mother never got into a new relationship for fear of what the father may do. And at some level, our parents are role models, particularly if we grew up in the same house of them, and they can influence our beliefs, our perceptions that can last way longer than just the time of living there. So there's a few things happening in this session. For the hypnotherapist listening, you'll recognize regression, reframe, associating into resourceful states, but also disassociating from unresourceful states, and an element of future pacing. So to integrate the resourceful states to create the possibility of what was necessary to really move on, what the client described as the final push. And that is strong boundaries, very, very useful if you are still having to interact with an ex, whether they're a narcissist or not. Having strong boundaries, very, very useful. But also a feeling of defiance. And you'll hear that word defiance because sometimes that's the best way to deal with someone being coercive. Because the nature of defiance is that the more that someone tries to be coercive or controlling, the more you desire to do the opposite. There's also a suggestion in here that actually emotions and attention are what feeds this kind of connection. And quite often that's true. The best thing you can do for a narcissist is ignore them, not give them any attention, any emotions. Even if they try and use the triggers that they probably know are there, you still have that ability to choose your response, particularly if it's not a face-to-face interaction. That's why the boundaries are important, because you avoid that ability to be triggered and then decide on your response. So if you are in the aftermath of, let's say, a toxic relationship, I think you might find this useful, but obviously be aware that it was created for an individual with individual circumstances. There's a reference to a tragedy, for example, because there was a belief system that their happiness in some way was linked to that tragedy. That probably isn't going to relate to your situation or your reality. So there will be a link in the show notes that you can schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. You can also check out my website, adamcox.co.uk. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel that you're releasing any tension around your eyelids. And notice that with your eyes closed, you can focus your attention on the sound of my voice. When you breathe in for longer and deeper than you normally would. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation, scan your body for any clues of tension, particularly around your forehead, jaw, neck, or shoulders. And just get the feeling that as you breathe out, you're releasing that tension. Feel it almost melt away, and that when you breathe out, that tension is leaving your body, so that on the next inward breath, you're then breathing in even more of that feeling of resourcefulness. Resources come in many forms: confidence, relaxation, inner strength, resilience, but also trust and worthiness. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in whatever resources your unconscious mind needs most right now. And if you're breathing in resources, I want you to imagine that it is displacing any unresourceful feelings. Tension is resourceful if you're doing strenuous activity. But here, relaxed, calm and comfortable, that tension isn't resourceful and you can release it. Anxiety can be resourceful if it helps you prepare for something in the future, to avoid something undesirable, to alert you to a danger. Just the right amount of anxiety is useful. It keeps us safe. But right here, right now, there is no need for anxiety, no need for stress, and no need for worries. So as you breathe in that feeling of resourcefulness, just allow yourself to let go of any unresourceful feelings as you feel those unresourceful emotions leaving your body in your outward breath. So as you breathe in and breathe out, feel that you're not only going deeper and deeper relaxed, but also that you're becoming more and more resourceful with each and every breath. That's it. Eyelids feeling heavier and heavier. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're floating up out of your body. And imagine observing yourself from above, seeing yourself looking relaxed. Your physical body is bound by the laws of physics in 3 dimensions. But your imagination isn't. Your imagination exists in the 4th dimension, able to go backwards and forwards in time, to look at your life from a different perspective. So allow that part of your imagination to start thinking all the way back. Imagine going back in time. I want you to imagine going back to a memory where you can see yourself deserving and worthy. See yourself at a time when you felt you deserved good things and good things came, that you were worthy of good experiences. But go back to a memory where you see yourself worthy of love. Your imagination has all of your experiences. So when you go back in time, you can't be in that version of you because you're wiser now than you ever were before. So when you go back and see that version of you, that younger version of you that is worthy, deserving, and valuable, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to notice that back then, all of the changes that took away that worthiness hadn't happened yet. That it was your default to know your worth, to feel worthy of love. And I want you to mimic how you were breathing back then. Breathe in the same way you were breathing when you were worthy. To have a similar facial expression. If you were smiling back then smile now. Your posture. Maybe your head was held high. Maybe there was a looseness, a relaxation, maybe even a swagger. I want you to observe how you were back there when you had that worthy confidence. And then step into that version of you, feeling that those neural pathways of worthiness are reactivating. Feel how it would feel to be loved, worthy, deserving, with just a subtle expectation that good things are coming your way. Maybe you could even feel lucky or fortunate. And when you've reactivated those feelings, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to leave that younger version of you, but take all of those good feelings with you, still there, even if you're not back in that body. As you go forwards in time, with all those feelings of worthiness, feeling loved, feeling deserving, and go forward to a moment where you can see someone too scared to live their life. Maybe a family member, maybe someone you knew very well, that they'd made a big decision, but they didn't make the most of that big decision. And when you could observe that person in that moment, a moment where they're not quite living life as they want, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to feel with all of your wisdom, all of your knowledge, that you can offer advice, wisdom, to coach them, to feel empowered, to do things that they feel that they're not able to do. And maybe your words make them feel more courageous, brave. Most threats are empty. Most consequences are imagined. I want you to imagine, given that this is just your imagination, that you help this person to be brave, courageous, to do the things that they would want to do. Feel that you can empower them, and almost feel that you're developing an entirely new timeline for them. That if they were to pursue that timeline, would their life have had more joy, happiness, love, and connection? I want you to get a sense that sometimes decisions are difficult. Sometimes it can take courage. Sometimes it can be necessary to call a bluff, to not believe the threats or the worries. And I want you to see someone that took their life in a different direction, and in doing so, elevated their life, improved their life, took control of their life, and took that control back. And when you could imagine that new timeline, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to see that sometimes things aren't easy, but they're necessary. If the choice is freedom or slavery, 100 times out of 100 decisions you would choose freedom. And not all slavery is shackles and prison cells. Most slavery is psychological. The ominous threat of what may happen keeps people more imprisoned than iron bars. And I want you to see someone that decided to break free of those psychological shackles and take a different life, knowing that if it's possible for them, it's possible for you. And when you see that more desirable future for them, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. The future is just possibilities, and the past is full of wisdom. So I want you to imagine that you leave that memory, go forwards in time to a time where you saw yourself carefree and confident, brimming with self-trust, inner confidence. I want you to see yourself able to attract a good relationship with a good person. And I want you to see that if you were worthy then, it's because someone saw the value in you. What's more probable is that you were worthy, desirable. I want you to get a sense then. You could observe what happened, and I want you to observe that what followed that moment was a tragedy. Knowing what you now know, it was just an unrelated incident. As sad as it was, in no way was it caused by your happiness. I want you to take all the wisdom that you now have, step into that carefree, confident version of you. Feel the carefree, confident version, but I want you to replay certain moments with all your current wisdom so that you see a tragedy just as a tragedy, not as karma or justice, not as a comeuppance or consequence, just something sad that happened. And I want you to play it forward in your own body as you would have wanted to deal with that situation. Feeling worthy, feeling desirable, feeling loved. I want you to see that knowing what you now know, you could have avoided a toxic relationship. You just didn't have the knowledge all the way back then. And if you feel that knowing what you now know, you would do something different, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And that is the key to your freedom. To know that you would do something different. And if you would do something different back then, you can do something different now. So leave that moment and go forwards in time and see yourself in your present. But see yourself in your present moment like you're someone else. And if you were making recommendations to a friend, if you were giving advice, I want you to notice how easy it would be to give that advice. Free of the fears, the worries. You already know what to do, because that's the advice you would give to someone else in your exact same situation. The time of running and hiding and sneaking and shame is gone. You're about to step into a new identity. A confident, self-assured, defiant identity. You couldn't care less about the opinions of someone from your past. You are activating the confidence to set and enforce strong new boundaries. You're seeing a defiant, confident version of you that is going to live your life on your terms. I want you to feel that you are cutting a cord that connects you with your past. Not just previous relationships, but what you saw from your parents, what you felt as a child, teenager, young adult. Cut the cord so you access the memories but not the emotions connected to them. You are wiser now, and you will use that wisdom to empower you. Feel that you are reactivating self-trust, that you will trust your own judgments, your own decisions, knowing that you won't get them right all the time. And those ones that you get wrong, you will learn from. But you are willing to trust yourself first. If your unconscious mind is willing to replace doubt with trust, let me know by nodding your head. And then step into that confident, carefree, defiant version of you. A version of you willing to live your life on your terms, and imagine now what the future looks like. You almost have pity for an ex-partner. Their days of being able to control your emotions are long gone. You set the boundaries. What you respond to is your choice. How you respond is your choice. The boundaries that you set is your choice. And the decisions you now make in your personal life is your business and nobody else's. So imagine living that way, carefree, that a person from your past is as insignificant as a stranger. Any communication with this stranger will be pragmatic and logistical, but not emotive anymore. Emotion is what feeds that beast, and you will starve the beast of the two things it feeds on the most: emotion and attention. And if you're willing to starve that beast of attention and emotion, let me know by nodding your head. And in doing so, the beast dies, or at least dies to you. Perhaps walking away with the tail between its legs, trying to find the next prey to feed on. But they can't feed on you. They can't feed on your emotions or your attention anymore. And when you feel that you are empowered to manifest and create that future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And know that you deserve a happy future, a future of love and joy. And in doing so, you become the role model that you wished your mother was for you. Breathe in and breathe out. and feel like you're returning to the present moment, taking all of these resources with you, feeling empowered to set boundaries, empowered to live your life on your terms, feeling confident and defiant as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully with the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.